Question. Have you ever thought that the way that you think is hindering your next level of life, your next level? Another question. Do you think that that has something to do with you being healed in order for you to understand the next level? We're going to talk about it. Grab your tea, grab your wine, grab your water. Let's talk about it. And for those that are new to the channel, welcome. I'm not sure if you're here because of the microlocks or the information or the content. Hopefully, it's a blessing to you. But I welcome you. Welcome. And those that have been here for a while, thank you so much and welcome. This topic, this video today, is based off of sometimes the way that we think, more times, the way that we think is hindering us from going to the next level in life. Do you think that your level of understanding, and it's justified because you're thinking the way that you think for a reason, your experience has you thinking that way and it makes sense to you? Do you believe that even the trauma and hurt and pain, or even the successes and the accolades and the different levels that you've achieved in your life, do you think that that is all happening because of the way you are? And do you think that even what's hindering you to going to the next level, or preventing you from going to the next level, is along the lines of unlearning some things, or at least healing? Because sometimes, and I'll give you a scenario with my life. Sometimes the way that we think, it makes sense to us, but it doesn't make sense to others. Not saying we need to explain it, but at the same time, because it makes sense to us, we sort of stay stagnant, we stay in place, we stay safe within that area because it makes sense to us. But it's like, okay, now something had traumatized me in my past that made me think that, you know what, no one's going to ever do that to me again. And that I applied in every area of my life, whether it be relational, job, people coming close, positions, moving. Like, I safeguarded myself because of what had happened to me, and it conditioned my and limited my choices, but still I was justifying it because of the way that I thought, because of the experience, and because of going forward I wanted to make sure it didn't happen again. So that required me to go get healing, like at least get a counselor, talk about it, unpack some things and heal, and to see life in a different perspective, or at least unlearn, heal, forgive, and all that stuff, even forgiving myself, and then apply new lessons and levels of love and understanding for myself to be in a position to go into another space or place better because of the level of growth in my mind and in my heart, because I received help in terms of healing. Comment below if you can relate to what I'm saying. Hopefully it's not a mouthful or an earful, or a mindful. I don't want to trigger anything, but I do want to bring it to your attention because it was brought to mind. So the reason why I'm bringing this up today is because I had an interesting topic online in a Zoom meeting that made me think about it. I had to go for a walk and really like take it in, because I'm just like, wow, like I've been on a journey where I've been doing things on my own, and I don't trust anybody to help me with it, nor even relay it to them for them to understand, to give them a chance to help me. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been burnt many a times, many a times. And so I've come to the realization that in order for me to go to the next level of my life, like even with a spouse, because of my past, even with a spouse, a friend, a business venture, a business merging, moving, or whatever the case may be, even different levels of how to raise my children, because I'm limiting myself based off of doing it myself and isolating myself. I had to come to an understanding for myself, which I hope you're receiving this, that I needed more. In order for me to receive more, I have to be accountable of what I'm doing, and that I need to also allow myself to be vulnerable to open that door to that. And that required healing on my part, because I had to dig deep into my life, like dig deep and find out where and the root of it, because it was hindering all aspects of my life. When I started to believe that that's how it was, I didn't think I had an issue. And not saying I have an issue, it's just that I want better for myself. It made me think about things that happened to me in my past, why I think the way that I think, why I do the things that I do. And I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore because it's I'm not growing. You know what I'm saying? And as much as it's safeguarding me, and that's how I came to the realization that it was the way that I was thinking and what has happened to me. I'm like, I need healing in this area so I can think better and at least be better. Do you know what I'm saying? And love stronger and love harder and receive better for myself. So it's just something that I had to go through. Not sure if you had to go through, or at least you're listening to this and opening up what it may be for you, right? So despite the way the world is turning, and there's things that we have control of and things that we do not have control of, the things that we do have control of we should consider changing, or at least becoming better at that. Do you know what I'm saying? And for me, I'm just like, I'm only responsible for the way that I think, the way that I am, who I am, allowing who in, who not, giving the best advice to those that come to me, and feeding my children in terms of love, morals, beliefs, you know what I'm saying, in terms of reality and life. Like I'm like, for myself, I can never stop learning. And I want to learn more about myself, more about myself in order to become a better Anne before I take my last breath. Do you know what I'm saying? And a lot runs through my mind, but at least one thing is certain. I want to become better. So I need to realize what I need to let go of in order to receive a new way of doing it, or the best way for me. And I can't topple it on top of the stuff that's already there. So I got to unpack the junk with assistance, with help, because sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we keep things dormant for a while, but it's still there. And we need help to unpack it, realizing that it's no good for us anymore, nor is it good for anybody else because we're applying it, right? So letting go of all of that and then learning the new, and that may require someone else to help. And for me, being a person that likes to do things on her own, I'm like, okay, I got to open the door to every area of my life. And the reason why I'm bringing this up too is because the topic that we are talking about earlier, it was in regards to business. And it's like, I'm like, I don't want to do business with anyone else. And it just kept on popping in my mind as they were conversing in the group. And I'm like, why are you so selfish, Anne? Why are you always think, because you get it done and it's going to be done your way and you don't need to explain. All these things are coming in my head. I'm like, okay, where does that come from? And this is going on in the Zoom meeting in my head. You don't trust anyone and you've been burnt before. So I was like, okay, when I went for the walk, I was like, okay, I need to heal. If I need to talk to a counselor, then I need to do that. But I went through counseling before, so I understand the steps of doing certain things and acknowledging it and letting go. And I was like, okay, if it's harmful for me and in that place where it's dormant that I kept locked, I need help unlocking it. Yes, I'm going to get help because I no longer want to be that person anymore. I no longer want to stagnate my growth. I no longer want to live within a realm of contentment for me and my family. This is not just about me. You know what I'm saying? So I got to better myself for my sons, for my future spouse, for, others that are going to be around me. And I also believe that the very things that I experience in my life, whether it hurt me or not, those are the very things that God is going to use to bless someone else. So I need healing in that in order to talk more about it instead of being shameful and keeping it in that locked door. Only I know what happened, and I need to open it, or at least open it with someone and talk about it and heal from it. Because I believe that in the past, that the other things that I have opened the door to, in terms of that locked box, it set me free. It set me free where there's no more pain, no more burden, no more, in those areas. So I'm like, okay, I want to do it in other areas of my life. And that's why I'm bringing this topic to you in regards to, like, do you genuinely think that the way that you were raised and the way that your experiences played out in your life justifies your actions, justifies your living today, justifies where you are today? And do you believe that there's some things that are stopping you from achieving so much more? And if it's in the area of healing, sometimes we can force ourselves to do certain things and reach to that pinnacle, but it's like we plateau, or we're there, but we're not happy. There's elements in our lives personally that we need to take care of, but there's also elements to success that we could just continuously going, but in a broken place, in a broken mindset. That's what I meant by place. So I know that when I was thinking a certain way, it made sense to me because of all the things I endured and all the things that I went through. But it's like, I'm not going through those things anymore, and I need to heal from it because I have this fear that it may happen again. Why I created that barrier, or that in almost everything in my life. And it's hindering me. And so that's why I'm bringing it up, because when I realize something, I'd love to share it with you. Comment below if you feel the same way, if you understand what I'm saying. And even if this is not for you and it's hurting you, you can watch it later on. I don't even want you watching this if it's bothering you. Okay. For me, I want better in my life. And I'm just like, okay, where can I make the changes? Because all I can do is change myself and be willing to do that, and being vulnerable and being accountable, and also being aware and not neglecting it anymore and not ignoring it anymore. Because when I do that, is like the word triggers annoys me. um, Facing certain things that I haven't faced in a long time bother me, and I don't like those type of feelings, because then it affects those around me. It affects the way I speak to them. It affects how I treat them, and it also affects my choices going forward, especially if I want something better for myself. It's like it keeps me back. Like the fear and the pain keeps me back, and I don't like that. I want to change, and if I need the help to do so, then, because I know there's people say, oh, nothing's wrong with me, nothing's wrong with me. Everyone else is doing it too. Everyone else feels like that way too. But the thing is, when you're home alone, only you know how you feel, because some people don't even like to be alone with themselves. Facts. I enjoy being alone by myself. That's why I know that there are doors that have not been opened that need to be opened, because I'm just like, I don't like the way I feel. I don't ignore it. I like to be present. I like to acknowledge that I'm feeling a certain way, because growing up, I wasn't taught how to deal with my emotions. I wasn't taught how to feel and how to express it verbally. Now in my mature age, I'm like, I need to learn these things, because I'm not happy with myself, and it's lacking uh, that potential of having good communication with others. So I'm just like, okay, this is how I'm getting better. If I have to take a class, I'm going to take a class. If I watch a YouTube video, or if I get a mentor or something like that, I'm going to do it, because I know that there's correct ways to doing things. But I also know that back in the past, when I was doing it, it was justifiable to me. It made sense to me, and it helped me to survive back then. But it's not serving me right now. I can still continue if I wanted to. I could still continue with that hustling mindset and surviving mindset, and just, um, guarded mindset, and behavior and all that stuff. But it was just like, I don't want to be that person anymore. It's tiring. It's tiring. It's aggressive. It's unladylike. It's unpleasant. It's not even about pleasing people. I'm not happy with myself. And that's when I was like, I need a change. I need a change. Where's it coming from? And so I know it was emotional for me because of my past experiences. I'm not sure about you, but some people could be fine, and then they go into a job field or whatever, and people around them cause them to go into a shell, or cause them to be in. So we all know what it is if we really want to think about it, but sometimes we don't want to think about it because it makes sense to us. And it's how we need to survive to maintain a level head, or maintain our job, or maintain our employment, maintain our family, maintain this, that. But it's like when you're alone, that's when you know that you cannot even live with yourself. And that's when you'll know that you want to make the changes, whether it's emotional or any other thing. But I know mine starts from within, and the way that I think, why I behave a certain way. And I want to change that. I don't know about you, but I think this is a topic worth exploring within your own mind, because we can become so complacent in the way that we think we're supposed to be, because it's working for us. Now, I want to deal with the other issues that have caused me to be fearful in certain situations, even though that situation is not creating the initial fear, but from something in my past put that fear on me. So anything similar to it brings that fear up. And I'm like, let me get it at the root, so that I can face life and be more present, and be, like, aware in a healthy manner, opposed to in a defensive manner. That's just me. But anyhow, there's something to think about. Water. But anyhow, this is just a short topic, something that we can discuss, something that you can think about going forward, because we want to become better, right? We want to become better for ourselves and others. And there's many things we want to achieve before we do take our last breath. Many things we want to achieve, but we want to be 100% present while doing it. Don't you agree? I do. I'll see you in the next video.